Paper Dolls, Empathy Among Fragile Identities, Gwen Douglas. What to say when it feels like you're trapped between wanting to say everything, but knowing that nuance will be lost in transmission? I guess you still try. Social media these days feels like having telepathy, point of view on every horror, every injustice, flicking by alongside beauty ads and cheeseburgers. It feels like every cable TV show playing in unison, while everyone you know is either fighting loudly or whispering sweet nothings to each other. The dissonance is overwhelming, and the algorithmic feed slowly starves us of empathy by numbing our senses. I've been thinking about the early days of the internet and sites like rotten.com. Imagine a closet of goth punk kids huddled around a computer, the dial-up sound drowned out by some early industrial, all straining to see a little gore and the underbelly slowly loading on the screen, only to find ourselves feeling unwell from all the adrenaline and the horrors. It turns out we were just nice kids under all the eyeliner and chains. But look how ever more desensitized we are. How many bodies have you now seen online? It makes me ache when I think about all the ways we continue to terrorize each other around the globe and what's been normalized in our day-to-day. Remaining human will take effort in this landscape. Witnessing all that we have and remembering that the painful, lived experiences of the people whose lives are broadcast into our hands are real and pressing and not abstractions will require emotional activation and imagination. Empathy is a practice. We should feel disturbed by the amount of suffering we're consuming alongside the banality of life and the flirtation of aspiration. If we aren't, we should reflect on that earnestly. Perception and perspective are sisters, the way a mirror and her reflection are bound. As artists, we are tethered to our creations via process. Anything less is art direction. I've had to learn to make peace with discomfort time and time again, had to find ways to live alongside unease as it weaves inextricably through an artist's life path. The paradox is that the moments when I'm most dissatisfied or uncomfortable are often the moments right before growth. Learning this has been a means of mining joy through moments of pain. We should be using our dissatisfaction as a compass. I am a believer that what explains the behavior of individuals often works at scale. I live in a pinhole of hope, one where this currently destabilizing and demoralizing period will drive us to change, to choose the right path at this crossroads. We are finding ourselves confronted with a reckoning about the lies we tell ourselves about collective identity. The Germans are not efficient, the French are not egalitarian, and the Americans are certainly not free. These identities no longer describe the current reality, and clinging to them blinds us to it. We've been arguing about the wrong identities, fixated on traits that are inherent to us as individuals, while ignoring the identities that are doing real damage right now. The political teams we attach ourselves to, and the lies we tell ourselves about who we are. When you hang your sense of identity to external ideals, validation, or moral scaffolding, challenging them becomes an existential threat. This is especially so in a time where politics has become a team sport, devoid of critical thought. Challenges are seen as betrayal. Every line you cross becomes a loyalty test that strips you little by little of agency and humanity. Justification becomes normal, even to violence. People will protect the version of reality that offers them belonging. This is sadly universal across the political spectrum because it is human to want to belong, but we shouldn't let groupthink strip us of our mind and morals. Clarity can be uncomfortable because it inspires action one is not always ready or willing to take. We seem to have forgotten that opinions are not facts. They are simply reflections of our personal position. I liken the truth to a four-dimensional object. What is revealed to you is dependent on your position within time. Therefore, it will of course look different to each of us. Sartre thought this entanglement with others was hell. I see it as incentive, or even as an invitation to communicate and collaborate, because we can only ever understand the whole picture through one another. If we want to go gently into the future, I fear this is how we'll have to do it. I don't think silence is neutral, but I also know that posting is not always care, and that we don't always see how people are interacting with current events in the real world. Algorithms reward the loudest and most confident voices. Issues and events become reduced to one-dimensional stories of heroes and villains. We should not be interested in performance as much as meaningful action, connection, and engagement with each other, especially those who are still shielded from much of the consequences. We have the power to affect the people around us. I aim to stay present, bear witness, and remain informed without losing an ethical direction. I remind myself that not everything can be flattened into a neat slogan. Not every meme stands on facts, and not all of us interact with the world and take in information in the same way. You might have deduced that I am a long-format human. I have also spoken quite publicly about my OCD. Certainty is rare for me. These thoughts are doomed to languish in drafts indefinitely if I remain committed to perfection instead of conversation. I don't want numbness to be the price of my staying informed, but I also don't want comfort to become an excuse to retreat. I've been thinking a lot about balance lately. I think we are often looking for balance to look like comfort because we haven't understood that balance is tension. It looks at ease, but it is active. Peace is not passive because empathy is a practice, because conversation and building community are action, and because our futures are always entangled. This is not meant to be a quickly identifiable team slogan, but rather a recalibration towards a moral framework. I'm letting my dissatisfaction guide me. No form of bigotry belongs in the future I dream of and move towards. No government or official is above criticism, and no person is illegal. All people deserve to live freely and with dignity. Human rights are inherent to all human beings. We are paper dolls. A cut to one is a cut to all.